We are Brap, we are live, and it's Wednesday. So you know what time it is? It's time to get into some great topics. We have Optimus Code here and the rest of the Brap panel. So let's go ahead and get the show started right now. Code, let me ask you a question. Can you drop bars to that intro, man?
That's got to be impromptu off the top, man. You can't plan it ahead of time, bro.
I hear you, man. Code, welcome back to Brap, sir. How are you this evening?
Man, I'm doing great. How y'all doing?
I'm doing well. I just want to I just want to clear something up here, Code. I do not live in a van. I'll leave it at that. Oh man, it's a wild shit. It's funny, man. Welcome everybody back to Basement Radio Arcade Podcast. We have a great show in store for everyone this evening. Want to give a big shout out to everyone in the live chat. We'll be doing a giveaway again. Haven't decided if I'm going to do a PlayStation, because typically we do the digital gift codes or whatever, $25 gift card, whatever.
Dang, that's a lot. That's really high. $25.
Yeah, I do it every week, man. Gotta support the gaming habit. Gotta support the gamers out there, and the habits of gamers to buy games and content when And
so he don't give his staff nothing though.
You've been on Brad for 5 years. This is pro bono work, dude.
Oh man, don't tell me that.
Yeah. So
we know EJ down there big balling anyway, so he
is. My EJ's down there. He's in a yacht right now with Biscayne Bay, just chilling.
Those bricks that come in off the ocean.
Oh wow. Yeah. So,
no comment.
Yeah, exactly. No, I know we're not talking about building bricks, by the way, either, guys. So yeah, I haven't decided if I'm going to give away a PlayStation 1 or a Xbox One. But anyhow, we're going to be doing a giveaway to someone later on in the chat. So please stick around, enjoy the show. And by the way, if you haven't done so.
Did I hear you say we're giving away PlayStations and Xboxes on here?
No. We're not doing that. We're giving away a digital $25 digital gift card, Forte.
I just heard PlayStation. Oh man, I was like, damn, we didn't upgrade that much. Your wife gonna be all right with that?
I tell you what, man. I here. Okay, so I might be doing a giveaway.
Oh shoot, here we go.
Not during launch, but maybe early 2021. As these things come in stock more, So, but yeah,
so sometime in 2021.
Sometime in 2021, yeah.
Ooh,
yeah. It also depends how the election goes. Wink, wink. So vote.
Oh shoot, I'm still waiting for the government to give me back pay on unemployment.
Facts, right? So, yeah. So I forgot what I was gonna say, but yeah, I really did forget what I was gonna say. Oh no, now I remember. If you haven't done so already, please check out the DPS podcast with Gaming Forte and Slow-Mo Backslap. The link is below. Click on that link if you didn't get a chance to watch the show live. Forte, I got to say, it was a great show. And actually, one of the highlights for me was listening to Slow-Mo Backslap talk about how he worked at Hallmark and wore like.
Oh, dude, the end of the podcast was it was it probably was literally almost probably the best part of the podcast because we just went straight off the rails for no reason.
Hold on, man. Hold on. We done been live for 4 minutes. And Enrique, you ain't asked nobody to hit the like button yet. You falling off, bro.
Oh no, I will. I'll get there in a minute. That's coming. Hit the like button, everyone. Just hit the like
button. Messy.
Yeah. Well, Code, I'm broadcasting from my van, so space is limited here.
Yeah, it's broadcasting from the basement.
Yeah, it's
because all the families upstairs.
Inside.
Hey man, all right. I'm about to take the show off the rails, man. I got a question, a serious question. Like for everybody on the panel, the chat, everything.
Okay.
What are your opinions on highly visible public figures not liking when people have public discourse with them.
Like when we mean highly, visible, like we're talking about people like
on Twitter, thousands of followers in the public eye, and Twitter's a platform where people are meant to share their opinions on you, your topics, your work, whatever it is that you're sharing that the public knows about you. People are going to comment on it, like that's what Twitter is for. But you have some people that think you only should say nice stuff about me or nothing at all. Like, what's y'all on that?
I'll talk about me because I'm like fit. People. I think that's the thing people don't realize. Once you hit a certain number, it's like you become, even if it's a small public figure, people listen to your opinion. That's why they follow you. So you, at a certain point, it's like, are you going to get mad just because somebody is having a difference of opinion with you, or coming out and saying things that you don't like, or being, vulgar or indecent to you and stuff? At a certain point, that's why I just get off Twitter. I don't involve myself deep enough to actually let that truly bother me, because I used to read my YouTube comment section all the time. And it got to a point where it got super demoralizing. And I'm like, half the time it's like, you don't know what people are like, you don't know what they actually mean, what they're saying, or they just try to be mean because you're talking about stuff that they don't like. So you kind of got to separate the two. And the more I just separated myself, it's like, yo, this stuff really truly doesn't matter. I'm just reading this just to get the comments that I actually think are like criticisms and critiques, instead of them just being completely ass side of the black hole type stuff that anybody is just going to say because they just don't like your opinion. Then I start taking those opinions more seriously. But I literally just disconnect, and people have the right to say whatever the hell they want to say. It doesn't mean they should say it, but you can't stop somebody on the other side of a keyboard for voicing their opinions on certain things, because that's what the internet is. And once you open up yourself to say, I'm going to tweet within these 160, characters, you got to be ready and prepared for all of that stuff to come back to you, good or bad.
Okay. Now, are we talking a person's opinion in a dialogue, debate type scenario? Or are we talking about somebody just coming back and being a dickhead just for the sake of being a dickhead?
All of it, man.
All of it.
Because opinions are one thing. If somebody's, when I say that, I say like the person, are they getting upset just because somebody's disagreeing with them, or they're getting upset because people are coming at them for whatever reason?
Both, EJ. Like say I just post something on Twitter as an example, and people could insult it. They can insult me. They could give their opinion on it. Like they got a ton of choices.
You get all of the above. I've seen.
My thing is though, but I'm not like a famous public figure. But like if I was, like, why?
Nah, Code, you're famous now, man. You're famous, Code.
I'm not famous. But like,
Code,
if you're
famous,
when you put stuff on Twitter, you are inviting feedback, positive and negative. So I'm curious
I
how
agree
y'all
with you.
feel about you only should get positive feedback.
Oh no. No, in that regard, no.
Eric, can I interrupt? I'm joking. Go ahead, man.
Are we trying to tie this in from last week?
Good one. He gonna slap you, boy.
Yeah, he brought it out, Miko. He brought it out.
EJ had that talcum powder ready.
No. Like Forte was saying, that's the risk and or reward, however you want to look at it, however you decide to run your Twitter. When you put something out there on social media, you're putting it out there for judgment either way. Some people are going to agree, some people are going to disagree. Somebody decides to be a dick. That's how you have to decide how you want to handle that, how much time you want to actually give to them. Yeah. Back in the day, like I used to go back and forth with people for hours.
Yeah.
And I started realizing, like, who is this person? Who is this person to me?
Yeah.
To even warrant getting this kind of time from me. So there's plenty of times now, like I'll say something and somebody will come back and they may not even direct it at me. They'll just direct it at the general thing I may have been talking about. Like, let's say, for example, like I post something about PlayStation and I'll get somebody to come in and say something, slick about Xbox or say something vice versa. And I'm just like, I don't even like it or even pay any attention because all they're trying to do is get a reaction.
Right.
And that's not worth my time, but if someone's coming with a real true dialogue, even if they don't agree with me, that's fine. Well, we can go back and forth. But the minute that disagreement becomes disrespect, or that disagreement goes off someplace but that my initial intention is not even being met anymore, we're done.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
Because people will do that in a minute. Like, you'll post something, and next thing you know, whatever ridiculous thing they have going on, whatever laundry list of idiocy in their head going on, they'll try to run down the whole list with you. I'm like, no, I'm not your therapist.
Right.
I said this, and this is what I meant. I don't even, I talked about, I like Fruit Loops. Why you bringing up Cocoa Puffs?
Yeah.
I mean, you had that experience with some guy kept coming at you, and just he for whatever reason you were living rent free in his head.
I always talk about it, living in people's heads.
Yeah, and I remember
love being there.
I remember this guy was coming at you for out of the blue. You know what I'm saying? And it was crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah, but you saw for a moment. If I'm thinking about the one you're thinking about, I discussed, and then I was like, we're done.
Yeah, you're like, I'm done. I'm out of here.
It's like, I don't argue with my 5-year-old. I'm not gonna argue with you.
Wow.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
That's what you're acting like. That's what a lot of cats act like. There.
Yeah. I like I said, I think in general, there's been many a times that I didn't let people get under my skin, and then I just come to the realization that either I'm gonna go into this back and forth, which I do a lot. I have fun with it because I know I'm standing on a bridge that you gonna sink on when you try to jump on it with me, because I know I'm gonna argue with facts that you can't that you don't even know how to compute because your brain's too small. But then I got the times where some people just
like
really
that right there. Forte just insulted some imaginary person right there. Was that
sure
wrong?
Sure did. Yep, I said their brain is smaller than a peanut. Yep, absolutely. But guess what? I also know there's people out there that's going to probably say something that's going to truly trigger me. And instead of going in a back and forth with this person, I'm going to quietly go to their profile. If somebody that I actually like and I didn't like what they said right then and there, I'm gonna mute them, and then I'll have a conversation with them about it later on after the fact. Or if I don't know you, I'm just gonna block you, and I'm just gonna step off Twitter so I don't drive myself nuts in what I might want to say then and there. There's a delicate balance in all of that, but the biggest thing you got to realize is you are in full control on how your Twitter timeline works. If you don't like what the hell's going on it, either don't engage in it or don't be afraid to use the power that was given to you by the almighty Twitter or whatever internet service you decide to be on.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point, Forte. Real quick, guys, I got to get some super chats here. We have Jordan Cranberry with a $2 or should say £2 super chat. Hey guys, hope you're doing well.
Carberry, not Cranberry. I knew you couldn't read.
Oh,
Lord,
hey,
this is like a
let me tell you something, Code. I live in a van. I got 18 kids, man. Leave me alone, man.
I'm not gonna lie, man. This is more than just a brat thing. This happens on every show.
Jordan Carberry, thank you, Jordan Carberry. There you go, Code, with the $2 super chats. His #1 podcast on YouTube, Exit Panel. Thank you for that, Jordan.
Yeah, the question is, what's the #2 best podcast on YouTube?
DPS. Gregor Von. I want to highlight Gregor Von Doom because this is kind of funny.
I hate fucking Gregor.
Gregor, no, this is the one time I'm gonna highlight something without it being in color. Gregor says every time they pronounces a word, he's rolling the dice.
Oh, I hate dog. Shout out to Gregor, man. One of the biggest trolls that I've ever seen in my life. But he's the nicest and most supportive person in this community when it comes to people that he actually rocks with. And he rocks with pretty much every one of our shows that we do.
Yep,
and absolutely. I'm willing to deal with his slander because I know it's all from the heart and the good of fun.
Yeah, shout out to Gregor. Keep us rolling.
Yeah.
Hey, man,
plus he made my icon that I have right now. So, shout out to him.
They're tripping in the chat. I mean, so just to clear up any confusion, by far, and it's not even close, the best cereal is Captain Crunch. So they can stop all this.
No.
Oh, well, okay. Wait, Code. Wait.
Is it Cinnamon Toast Crunch, sir?
Forte, now you talking. Now you talking.
Well,
Wait,
Y'all
Code,
heard what I said.
no, I would disagree. What about crunch berries?
No, cinnamon toast crunch
Yeah,
because,
you like super golden
because it's
crisp.
like the best
Stop
cereal to drink the milk out of.
Hey, let me tell you. Hey,
You
we
like,
talking about gold.
you like King Vitamin. Stop this.
Nah, man, no. Cinnamon toast crunch all day.
Hey, let
And
me tell
then, and then if you want to
I
get into
like
it, after that,
Frosted
it's
Mini
Cocoa
Wheats.
Puffs because who wants chocolate milk after they eat their cereal?
Shimmy,
Great.
shimmy, Cocoa Puff, right?
Microwave grape nuts.
Right.
What? You
What
like
in
grape?
the world
You
is
like
going on?
you like
Yeah.
nuts? What happened?
Well, you don't. Go ahead, E.
No, sir.
He
I
said
my
he like.
nuts.
I heard he said nuts, and I don't know.
I
Go
said
ahead,
microwave grape nuts.
No.
No.
You
Yeah.
ask my kids, they're gonna tell you cinnamon toast crunch is the beginning and the end. It's the alpha and
Hey.
the omega.
That is all
Hey,
my
real,
daughter rocks with
real
this.
quick, I want to say something. Speaking of kids, Forte,
Yes.
you are raising your kids correct, sir.
I know. I put it on Twitter, man. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
What did your daughter say before we went live?
She said, "True gamers love all games." She said, "You're not a true gamer unless you love all games."
I thought she said
love it.
respect.
No. Let me go look at the tweet. Let me go. Can I put it? Wait, what did she exactly say?
Yeah,
Oh
she
yeah,
said respect.
all true gamers should respect all games.
Yeah.
That's what she said. All true gamers should, and this was off the cuff, guy. I was like, we were just talking about games, and she was just like, "Yeah, all true gamers should respect all games." And I'm like, "What? 9 years old, bro?" My mind just exploded
Spitting
in a
bars.
million different pieces.
Spitting
Yeah.
bars.
It's like
That's
this,
great.
and I
Well
didn't even
said.
have to work hard for that. The God basically beamed that one down from the heavens and put it in her head for free. For free.
So yeah, we know it didn't come from you, Forte.
It sure didn't.
Because Forte would have been like, "I love Destiny," and that's it.
No. Well, that's what I love this generation.
Yeah.
Most influential game this generation. Let's be for real.
Well, I don't.
The most influential game this generation.
I don't know about that, Forte.
We can have a conversation. We can have
No,
a conversation.
we're not going to have the That's a
There's been
podcast.
a bunch of games there's been a bunch of games that's
Okay.
tried to compete
Forte, okay,
and
I
fell off the wagon.
I will give you this, Forte. In the realm of MMOs, console
Okay.
MMOs, yes, absolutely.
Okay. In the world of MMOs and games as a service,
Yes,
Destiny
I will give
is
you yes.
it.
Yes,
And
but
what
not,
games and what has this generation mostly been? A bunch of games as services. That's why we got a service called Game Pass, so we could get more games of a service inside of it. So let me tell you, what game, what
no, I don't agree with
franchises did that for you? Destiny did. So let's just move on. We'll just move on.
Slow-mo might be right, man. You work that Destiny into like almost every conversation.
Yeah,
No,
you do.
he,
yeah.
hey,
Forte be at McDonald's, be like, let me tell you what, the Big Mac's not as good as Destiny 2.
Well, no, we'll never go there. The Big Mac's not even as good as a double quarter pounder with cheese.
Facts, by the way.
Double
Facts.
pounder with cheese is man.
Shout out
to-
bars on it tonight, man. Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I'm
Oh man,
hungry.
you know that's what happens, man. When you work in retail, you barely eat at home.
Right.
That's true, man.
It's a McDonald's. It's like McDonald's every 2 blocks.
Hey, you know what, Forte? We got to talk about that though, man. With Destiny,
What's
not
that?
not in this show with Destiny, but maybe we should do like a Brap rant talk because Paul Tassi actually had a great article, Forbes, about this very topic, talking about Destiny, how the imitators haven't been able to replicate the success of Destiny.
Oh yeah,
like,
the frauds. You're right.
Yeah. So maybe
The ones that said they were killers, Destiny killers.
Oh yeah. Well, we've all been down that road before. Where remember the Halo killers, the supposed Halo killers. Never
Shout out to
happened.
Paul Tassi too, because he's an amazing person. We was on
he's
on
good, dude.
Crossfire with him this past Friday, and
Yep.
that's the first time I got a chance to talk to him, and I felt like I was at home because someone knows Destiny just as much as I do. He actually knows it more, but
he
it
knows
was just the
Destiny.
fact that I was able to like talk to that man about my feelings, and he was like, "Yeah, man, I haven't played this game in a month either."
Yeah. Hey, Forte, I just installed it, reinstalled again on my PC.
Oh,
man.
make slow-mo reinstall it, and we're all
Let me
good.
tell you something, man. Those 100 frames per second. Woo!
beautiful.
Oh my God. Very nice.
Wait till the best system out there gives it to you too. Well, not 100 frames per second. I don't know about that.
It's going to be at 60, but
it's
okay.
Be at 60. I'll take 60 all day.
I'll take 60 on a console. I'll take 60 on a console.
You know, it's not like it's going to look like Dirt 5. Like
okay, we're not going to talk about Dirt 5. Okay, we're not.
I don't think Dirt 5 looked bad. I think they just showed it bad at IGN because they did it at 1080p. Speaking of which, your boy has seen the light. He has officially went out and bought an Elgato 4K 60 Pro, and all of his content on his channel is about to be 4K because I was looking at that trailer and I was like, yo, is this what this looked like? So I went on my Xbox and went to my YouTube channel on my Xbox to pull up, my YouTube videos on my 4K TV. And I was like, man, 1080p is blurry as hell. So I had to upgrade my stuff, dog.
Yeah. I will say this though. I didn't want to talk about Dirt 5, but I will say this.
You don't gotta talk about Dirt 5, just talk about 1080p in general.
I wasn't like I was a little bit underwhelmed, but not because
God. Okay, please tell me why.
Well, because it just didn't wow me. Like it's
what is it supposed to do with Dirt?
It's a racing game, man.
It's
come on.
Dirt 5. I can understand if it was
a racing. Come on.
I can understand if it was Gran Turismo, or if it was Forza Motorsport or something.
No,
you're
it's
saying
not. Look,
Dirt 5 underwhelmed you?
Yes, it's running on the most powerful console ever.
No, it's going to be running on a PS5 too. So
I don't care if it's running on a PS5.
It's a game that's running on both gens.
It was shown on the Series X.
Okay, and
I was not impressed.
It's probably not going to look that much better on PC. So what are we talking about here?
I don't care. It was still running on the Series
Y'all
X.
make it seem like the series. Look, this is my whole thing. When y'all say underwhelming, y'all talk about underwhelming when the damn thing is going to be across multiple platforms. And the platform it's on is probably going to be the best looking one on console.
Didn't they come out? The community, Microsoft, they all came out and said multi-platform going to play best on this console.
They are going to play best. It's probably going to. It's more than likely. No, what did they say? Multi-plats are going to play best on the Xbox One. And when they say that, they're talking about consoles, sir. They're not talking about PC.
Forte, it looked underwhelming.
Oh my god! Anything looks underwhelming to a person that has a 2080 Super or 20 whatever the hell you got.
In person.
I got 2070, man. But look.
You need to upgrade.
But Forte, I'm going to upgrade, man. Forte, it's not. But look, it's not. It was a little underwhelming. I was like, okay.
Y'all
Forte, why is it too much?
Y'all too much. What do y'all want?
What do you mean?
They gave you 120 frames. Listen, what did I tell you this generation?
Look,
I told you, listen,
120 looks nice.
Let me tell you what my expectations
120
was.
looks nice.
What have I been saying about this generation the whole time? This is why, to me, I don't see when you start reaching for the stars. Start reaching for the stars and God smacks your head.
Why are we reaching for the stars though?
You are reaching for the stars. You're taking what they basically said, and you're not even talking about the things that they're giving you, and you're equating it to what you think you should have.
Whoa! First of all, let me tell you something.
That box said, wait. Where does that box say? It says 4K, right? It says 4K on it, right?
Look, I gave them props on Twitter, and I said, you know what? It's nice you're giving options 120 frames per second. Nice,
right?
But visually speaking, it just didn't look like wow. And this is the consensus, by the way, not just me saying this.
Dirt 5.
It doesn't matter if it's Dirt 2 or Joe Blow the video game.
And this is the thing.
It doesn't matter.
You're trying to say the 4K. So we're trying to say the image mode, the 4K, the 4K. What is it? The 4K, whatever unlocked frame rate mode didn't look good.
What do we hear about? It looked okay. It looked okay.
So what's better? What looks better?
Forte, let me ask.
Name me a game that looks. Name me two games that look better.
On what? The Series X?
No, anything. I know you're gonna say Spider-Man is one because it does.
Yes,
it's first party. Yes, first party. Yes. What else? Probably Demon Souls because it's 1440p running at 60 frames per second.
Well, can I jump in here for a minute?
Yes, please do. Yeah, please.
I think so. The problem is, I agree with Enrique. Well, I agree partially with Enrique although he hasn't got a chance to make a complete statement yet, because you've been killing this man, Forte.
Yes, because he's not making sense. But go ahead.
No, I am making sense. No, first of all, I'm making perfect sense. Go ahead.
Well, go ahead. I want Optimus to split this carrot. Go ahead, split the peel, whatever it's called.
The problem is the Dirt 5 is just catching strays. The issue is not Dirt 5 at all, because the game is adequate. It looks fine, in my opinion.
Right.
The issue is that the Xbox influencers and Microsoft themselves led the community to believe that every single game on the Series X was going to be outstanding and above anything you ever seen, minimum of 4K 60.
Where did you hear that?
Aaron Greenberg tweeted that the standard for all Series X games is 4K 60.
No, he said so maybe this is what the difference is between what I see and what I. How can you?
Forte. All right, he said this.
No, I do, but you're right. He did say this. And this is the difference. Listen. This is the difference between what I think and what you think. I can't say in my mind that Aaron Greenberg, when he goes out there, he is speaking for the hundreds and hundreds of other developers that are not even under the Microsoft ecosystem.
For the platform.
Doesn't matter.
No, he's a representative of Xbox. For the Xbox gaming,
who's saying they made a monster that eats monsters?
I've been saying this since they announced it. I was like, if you guys think you're going to get 4K 60 frames per second across every game, you're
have to fall back, Forte. The expectation was set that this is what you get if you come to us. And again, I agree with you.
What is
unrealistic expectation?
Exactly.
We're not discussing how realistic it is. We're discussing. These are the facts.
So you guys took
believe and now the first game that they show, and again, I think Dirt is just catching strays. It's got nothing to do with Dirt. It's got nothing to do with the developers. None of that. It's just people had an expectation. They've been waiting to see Series X gameplay. So first they saw Halo Infinite. You know how that went, but everybody's like, just wait. They're gonna knock our socks off. So then we was waiting, and we saw a bunch of back compat, and they're like, okay, well, that's great. That look good, but just wait. Everybody's still waiting on the edge of their seats to see next gen with all of this promised power everywhere. And they just waiting to see it. And when they finally see the first thing that they show, it does not meet the expectations. And again, it's not that the game is horrible, because I personally think the game is fine. It's just that the game does not live up to the perception in the minds of many people, and they just catching these strays. Like I said, it's not their fault, but this is what happens when people don't do what you said, because what you did was like, okay, I hear that, but that's unrealistic, and so I'm going to temper my expectations, which was wise. The majority of the people, can't say the majority because I can't really speak for the numbers.
Right.
There's a large segment of people that are very vocal that, hey, this is not what we was looking for.
Right. And for me, and you're absolutely right. And for me, and it's not about trying to just, because I could care less. I'm not buying the system based on any damn thing that they showed in that trailer. My mind was made up when another developer said they were doing something that I wanted them to do. So it has nothing to do with Dirt. I could care freaking less. My whole thing was, and like you said, maybe it's just in my mind. When I hear them say things, I look at Microsoft. When they talk, they're talking about them and their first party. This is what we are going to be doing with our first party. But that's what I take it as. I don't know other people.
A lot of YouTubers stand on saying that third parties are going to look better.
The third
and Microsoft said that too.
To be seen. Now, if Dirt comes out and looks better on a PlayStation 5, we got a problem. Then it's a real big problem at that point. Right?
Here's where I stand. I don't give a damn about Dirt. I said that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I can care less about Dirt.
And a lot of people don't give a damn about Dirt. But what Code is saying is absolutely right. It ain't about Dirt. Dirt is just catching the runoff. It just happens to be that it was placed out there as the thing that was going to be shown. So it's catching smoke when that's not really where the smoke is.
Well, the smoke is this, and I even said this yesterday when we were on DPS. I was like, the problem is I'm not mad at all about other people being mad that Dirt didn't show out the way they want to. I think people are putting way too much energy in something that they don't truly care about ultimately, because none of you guys were talking about Dirt before this. But listen, let me finish.
I disagree. Go ahead.
Let me finish. I said the biggest problem is people weren't talking about Dirt in the beginning, but ultimately this is Microsoft's fault. Like I said this is their fault because they don't have a flagship game of their own to go out there and show off their system. They are dependent on third party to show off their system. And if you're going to depend on somebody else to do it for you, you got to live with the repercussions of what's going to happen. And that's the problem that's happening right now. Like Cole just said, Dirt is catching all the loose strands because Microsoft themselves didn't have a game out there to show people fully what the system was going to do. Even if I believe in my heart that when they say when they say you're getting 4K 60 frames per second, that's what we're shooting for. I, in my mind, say that's what they're shooting for their own studios, because they can't, I know they can't compare and say, oh, you need to do this, especially after they say they're giving developers choice and stuff. So I don't expect third party to fall in line with what first party is going to do. Now, if first party comes out and do this and we start seeing 900p 60 frames per second, well, what the hell is going on? You're the one that told us that your games are going to run at this frame rate and resolution. You said 60 frames per second is the standard. So if you can't do that with your own studios, then I have a problem. I can't hold accountable with third party.
When they specify their games, because that's not the narrative that most of the YouTube guys run with. They just say, the best place to play. But haven't they been here before with the Xbox One X?
They have
that was the monster. But and I know people about to go into this thing where we're about to start comparing PS5 and everything. That's not what we're talking about.
It ain't got nothing to do with PS5. Right. That's why I don't even. That's why I didn't even bring up PS5 as part of the tweet.
I'm seeing it in the chat already. But I'm saying when they brought the One X in, what was the same conversation that we're having right now? It was
same thing.
It's going to make all your back compat better. It's going to make all your third party better. And they put it on the third, and we're right back here again. But now it's a launch console, and they put Dirt 5 out there to die.
Well,
they put it out there to die.
But that's my point, though. Like
they did put it out there to die. Who give a damn about that game?
Yeah, look, I may not care about Dirt 5, but it doesn't mean I can't watch the video and be like, you know what? It was underwhelming based on everything Microsoft's talked about, based on everyone's.
No, I care about Dirt 5.
You know,
Dirt 5 was the catalyst. Dirt 5 was the catalyst of people.
Hold on. So, here's the thing, Forte. It doesn't matter if nobody's interested in Dirt 5. That is the point of the reveal in the trailer, is to get people interested in it. And if people are waiting to see something, they're like, show me. And again, I got nothing against Dirt 5. I don't think there's nothing wrong with Dirt 5. It's just unrealistic expectations have been set. And the goal of a trailer and a reveal is to generate interest, not to generate no interest.
Hey, Cole, let me ask you this question. A game like Dirt 5 shows up almost at the beginning of every new generation.
Exactly.
It's a game that gets thrown on.
Yeah.
You know, so, but the fact is, this time it was thrown on the one that was touted as the most powerful. Even though, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't Booty and them kind of walk that, they kind of laid off of that a little bit? Not that they don't believe it, but they stopped on the whole most powerful thing. They gave it over to the developer. Well, we'll let the developers decide whatever.
Yeah, they did.
That was the biggest mistake because they
hammering down.
They can't show it themselves.
But it's higher. It was the monster that these monsters. So again, you're setting the expectation. Like Cole said, it doesn't matter that it's Dirt 5. It doesn't matter what game they would have showed. They could have put Voodoo Vince in there. But the fact is, you said this, and this is what you put out there.
Yeah,
I agree.
And it's not just Dirt 5. I mean, if you look at some of the previews or
shout out to Voodoo Vince, by the way.
Yeah, Voodoo, right? I mean, if you look at some of the previews, I mean, it's Yakuza Like a Dragon. Like Ryan McCaffrey's doesn't look next gen. Like it just doesn't.
Well, it's a current gen game.
It doesn't, but it doesn't matter if it's current gen though. I mean, the fact that Forte, Forte. Go ahead, B.
Let me get in there. I'm glad I jumped in this spot because
what's up, B?
I was talking to what's going on, man. I was talking to a bunch of people today about this whole next gen thing, and I tweeted it earlier too. For us going into next gen, I feel like 2K is doing the best job. You know what I mean? As far as
Absolutely.
like showcasing like what they're bringing to you for their next gen title. Like everyone is saying like, oh, you're getting this upgrade to next gen, and most of it is just like, oh, well, you might get 120 frames per second, or you might get a bump in resolution. But as far as like what they're bringing to the actual game, what you can expect to see changes, you know, from the various power upgrades or whatever. Like most devs aren't really showing you that, and they aren't really bringing much to the table in regards to that. So like a lot of these games are just a resolution bump, or you might get some more frames per second. But if you look at games like 2K, like they're on their second blog post of stuff that they're improving to the game, and it has nothing to do with resolution. Yeah, the lighting and stuff looks better, the character models look better, but the stuff that they're improving into the game, it's a totally different game. It's not just like, oh, this is a bump. You know what I mean? So a lot of people are like, oh, it's just a sports game or whatever. But I think for me, they're showcasing the most what they're bringing to next gen, and most developers are just saying, oh, you get a little bump, or you know what I mean, your frames per second might go bit.
Hey, B, you're button, man.
He'll be there. No,
B.
He probably unplugged his mic.
Yeah,
but
I
agree 100% with him on that.
No, but I'm saying like you could say like Yakuza is not a next gen game, but that doesn't take away from the fact of what the messaging from Microsoft has been. About
I'm not disagreeing with
even current gen games. So I don't think. Look, you could sit there and say, as a gamer, you know what? To me, that's underwhelming. There's nothing wrong with that. Like it just you know, it's an opinion. Like, you know, I wouldn't crucify people for saying that. Now, again, there's console warriors. There's console warriors that are going to take the shit, you know, to the next level, which I don't agree with. But I'll say this: like to me, like the expectation was set that even we talked about backwards compatibility games. You know about games looking better, running better. You know the whole PC thing. You know game scaling like they do with PC. I mean, it's just we haven't seen it yet, and that's my only point. Doesn't mean that Xbox sucks. It just means that there's a consensus out there that people have actually played these games and say, yeah, you know what, for what this console is, there isn't anything running on it that really highlights the capabilities of this console. That's not a bad thing.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. It's just
I don't disagree with that at all.
No, it's not like you're making excuses for Xbox for it.
No, I could care less about Xbox on that.
We know you just not say that no more, man.
I could care less about that.
Go ahead, B. Go ahead, B.
I also jump in here again, and like I said before, when they were doing these showcases in the beginning of the year, and everybody was like, "Oh, none of these games look next gen," you know what I mean? And Microsoft is touting that they had the most powerful console, you know, and everybody's like, "Oh, we can't blame Microsoft for this. This is partners, you know, that they're working with and all this nonsense." And like, yeah, that's fine at the end of the day, but you know what I mean? If you're told that you have the most powerful console, then you need to go to those partners and say, "What do you got?" You know what I mean? What do you got that's showing off our hardware? You know what I mean? To the best of its capabilities. If you don't have that, then you know what I mean? Like you gotta be mild on all that talk. You know what I mean? You can be running around saying you got the most powerful when you have nothing to show for it. It's the same thing that happened with the X. Like they came out screaming that all the time, and basically we had one game. You know what I mean? Red Dead that really showed it. You know what I mean? And there's a handful of games that
Horizon 42B.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm saying, there's a handful of games that was sprinkled in there that said, "Oh, okay," you know what I mean, like this is really showing what the power can do. But other than that, I mean, there are some games that possibly look or ran better on other console. And how can that be if you're running around saying you have the most powerful console?
Yeah,
Rick, you getting behind on them super chats, player.
Yeah, I am. I gotta get some super chats. Thank you, Code. We have
man.
Yeah, B, you're still butting a little bit. We have Sastry with the $2 super chat says Hellblade 2 was the first game showed.
That is not true. That was CGI trailer. That was not gameplay.
Right.
We have Jordan Carberry, Optimus Code says I prefer 1440p 60 frames a second with ray tracing and also graphics. Woo! Yeah, baby.
I agree. 100%.
PC, baby. And then we got hold on, I gotta get some of these word super chats. Oh shit. Damn, I'm really behind. Hold on a sec here. We got
behind.
we got J-Dub. We got J-Dub. Kratos says, "What's good, my brothers? What is up, J-Dub?"
What up, Jay? Trouble starter.
Yeah, Jay is a trouble starter for sure. Yeah, and then we got El Matador 809 with the what is that? DOP 100. What is that? Okay, with the super chat. Sony make sure games be Sony make sure games be shown with the best quality. And then we got Glorious Ward, the $5 super chat. Says the layman gamer might think PS5 is more powerful just by the games associated with PlayStation, Demon Souls, Spider-Man, and NBA 2K. And we got Bravo D3 with the $5 super chat. Says Greenberg said developers always have flexibility in how they use the power. So a standard or common 60 frames per second is not a mandate, but do need to do better. Thank you for the super chat, everyone. I appreciate it. So, but Code, I think this kind of ties into kind of what you've been preaching the last couple months, right?
About the developer skill and talent.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why people have such a hard time accepting that concept, but the power. I mean, it's just the power. The console itself, the hardware, is a tool, or it's a weapon. It's not the soldier. It's not the warrior. The power comes from the people, and it's really that simple. And you can give a group of people lesser tools, and they can do a better job than a lesser skilled group of people with better tools, because it's not the tools that's important. It is the people. The magic comes from the people. Mm-hmm. And I personally believe, so again, y'all know I ask the style of these little dumb hardware conversations, because until we get these retail units, we don't even know. All those are now just numbers on paper. These are aspirational goals. We don't even know what they're going to be. But if you accept that the numbers are real, which I don't, but if you do, then I do believe that Microsoft's platform, by the time it's all said and done, once the APIs have matured and all the developer techniques have been solidified, I do think we'll get some great gaming experiences on that platform. There's actually not a doubt in my mind.
Absolutely.
But I do think that it's going to take time. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that people are frustrated with is Microsoft, or Xbox in particular, asking for more time. But that's really what they need. And I think everyone that invests in the platform will certainly be rewarded. It's just this narrative fueled by the console war. And if we're being honest, there has been nothing shown, unless you're a diehard Xbox fan or just a diehard gamer, nothing has been shown that makes you say, man, I need to go grab that machine. And that's just the facts, and there's no need to argue and fight against that. We're all banking on potential. We haven't seen anything that has actually been realized right now. We're all waiting on the potential.
Yeah, that's a great point, Code.
With the hardcore, the hardcore going to be there no matter what. Because we're not going to stop gaming. We're going to continue. So we know eventually, it'll come. And if you are a consumer first, if it doesn't come, you walk away.
Thanks.
Yeah, but there'll be something else that'll take the place, or somewhere else for you to take the place. But all this capping and stuff people keep doing, I'm like, come on, man.
Mm-hmm. That's a great point, E. That's a great point.
You right again, E. You right again.
Yeah. Hey guys, I wanted to talk about Genshin Impact, because and it was this was actually going to be a topic that I was going to have Slobo talk a little bit more about, but I'll kind of glance over this topic real quick. The game is apparently doing very well. The developer has recouped the development costs for this game. It's free to play, and I don't know if I just started playing it. I know Eric, you started playing it, and I'll go to you, E. Please, anyone else who's played the game on the panel.
I'm playing it right now.
I think B's playing it.
Yeah, B. Yeah, like, what do you like? Are you surprised that this game is what I would say it's, at least maybe financially speaking, probably a success? But are you surprised by this, E?
I mean, I'm surprised at any game that makes $100 million.
Yeah, right. I mean,
that's crazy, man. I mean, it's kind of the thing that shocks me about it is not from the quality of the game. The game is good. It's just how much they actually give you before you even think about ever spending money, which I have not. I don't spend money on these types of games. I feel if I get to a point where I can't really go any further without really dumping dough into it, then I'm probably out. I mean, if it started that way, some like Destiny's different because you paid in to get in there, right? A game like this, it's not asking for any money up front, but if it hits a wall where you're like, okay, now go in your pocket and let's do this, then I'm a little bit more cautious. But so far, just being in this game, yeah, I mean, they haven't, everything that I've been able to do is from the end game. So I'm like, they must have some real whales, or they have people that this type of loop really gets them. So
we talked about that.
Yep.
We talked about that a lot yesterday on DPS, and the one thing that I
click on the link below, by the way.
The one thing I was telling Slow-Mo was, the thing is, I think this game has it's not the only game, but the more and
Destiny
more
killer.
the more and more we see games like this where a budget of they made all the money back that they used to develop this game in 2 weeks. $100 million to make this game, and they made it back in 2 weeks. Right. And everything they give you is right off the back. And I asked Sloma, I said, Sloma, have you spent any money? He was like, yeah, I spent $10 on the game. And I said, do you ever feel like you are at a point where you have to spend money? And he was like, no, I'm still not at a point. I just spent money because it was something that I thought I wanted, that I just wanted to go ahead and get. And guess what? There's a lot of people like that. When you go out and when you respect a gamer's time, some people out there look at it like, oh, I could play for hours. I could play for weeks. I could just keep on playing the game. But then you got those people that, especially with this game having such a big following on social media like Twitter and YouTube and Twitch, you start seeing all of these people with stuff in the game that you don't have. And you start like, well, how do I get this? And then you look up a YouTube video for a guide, and you say, whoa, it's going to take me how long to get it? Now, the grind itself probably won't be that bad, but a lot of people have other things and other priorities in their life. And that's where, time becomes more important than money. And you go ahead, you start spending money on the game. And guess what? It's not because you think it's like a predator and it's intrusive. It's that you truly enjoy the game that much. That's why I think Destiny can get away with microtransactions in their game, because people enjoy the game so much that they're willing to spend money, even if they don't have to spend money. And that's what you're seeing with this game. And the other thing is, I think this generation, we're going to get closer and closer to these developers starting to see that games like this, if you give a person a great game, you can put it out there for free and you'll make your money back just on the goodwill of all of the people that are buying into the microtransactions that are into the game. Because this is a full-fledged game that has new DLC that's launching at the end of December. A whole new area is going to be put into this game.
Man, this game is trash. I'm sick of y'all praising it.
Dude, you don't, what?
Oh, have you played it?
Well, no, but here's the thing.
Yeah, but
So-
no.
Wow.
Okay, go ahead.
Wow.
Go ahead,
No,
Cole.
stop
Please
it.
tell us
Stop.
why this game
Stop
isn't
this.
good.
Stop this.
Play
got it.
hating.
I download it. I'm ready to fire it up. So I go look at the trophy list, and this sucker don't even offer a platinum trophy. So I can get all the way through 100% and still don't get a platinum.
Oh, so it's
I
trash because they don't
immediately
give you
lost
a
interest.
platinum trophy.
Any game that does not offer a platinum trophy is trash, period.
Oh, okay, so he's
My definition.
disqualified.
Okay.
He's disqualified now.
Yeah, that's okay.
Because they don't give him a
Medically,
platinum trophy.
Man, if you don't got no plat, that ain't where it's at, period.
Well, you can still get
Wow.
100% on it though, right?
I need the
doesn't that
platinum
number
trophy.
doesn't that
What's
number
not
still
clear?
say 100% on it
I
when you
need
get
the
all the
platinum
achievements
trophy.
and the trophies?
Stop
Code
it.
Code actually has a platinum trophy in his gaming room. That's how serious he is about this.
What's that PlayStation rank now that you got that update? What number are you?
I was like 204, something like that.
Oh, 204. Okay, I'm thinking 213. At least you got more than Slow-Mo. He play PlayStation all the time, supposedly.
Slow was not even here to defend himself, man.
That's fine. He's never here when I slander him sometimes.
Oh my
He'll
goodness.
slander me at some point on Twitter when he
Yeah.
listens back to this show.
He will. Actually, he will. You know that's coming soon. I give it
Exactly.
an hour.
I got to
Yeah,
get my
I
shots in when I can.
right.
Scared of Slow-Mo.
Yeah, what did I jump to?
Yeah.
No, but I agree. I agree. The game, the fact it's a phenomenon right now. Well, let's see how
Something like a
well it
phenomenon.
sticks. We'll see how long it sticks with this, but I think this game has some lasting appeal because I was looking at the YouTube like the search volume for it, and you're talking about over 15 million people trying to find out stuff about this game.
It's
You
big.
got YouTubers out here hitting 1 million subscribers in 2 weeks because
That's
they out
crazy.
here looking for this game. It's and everybody's playing it. So it could be the next just like Fortnite literally changed how people play shooters. And it's not about the shooter anymore. It's about the open world experience of playing it and the 1 versus 100 mentality. This could be the opportunity that think about RPGs are built on grind and time investment. And they are giving you that for free in this game. And people don't even feel like they have to spend money. They're spending it because they are enjoying their time in it. So if another game, a bigger game, let's think like Assassin's Creed can actually tap into that, but actually have a great game that actually people want to like just give for free. You can start seeing other developers doing this, and paying for a game becomes obsolete at a certain point. You just pay into it over the course of how long you play it. I'm telling you, this is the beginning of something different. I don't think this game's going to do it now, but I think over the course of this next generation, we're going to start seeing a lot of developers that you would never think would give you a free game. They're going to do it.
Yeah, I think so here's my thing. I think and I'll go back to Destiny. I think we'll see people try to copy this. I don't know how successful it will be. And I use Destiny as an example because,
yeah, you're right.
We see so many Destiny clones. I don't know how many Genshin Impact clones that will be successful. I think the industry's so big that there's so many different ways to release content, and so I don't it's a great point, Forte. Maybe it has that impact, like you said, where it changes the game. I don't know. I mean, because I feel like we kind of had that conversation with Destiny, and then we saw the Destiny clones, and it just didn't pan out, right?
Think of something like, okay, so let's go back to the analogy of Fortnite. Call of Duty was the most played game on multiplayer on console. And guess what? More people play the free-to-play version, Warzone, than they play the base version of Call of Duty. Because guess what? It's free.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And you would never thought that the base Call of Duty that comes with the game would be the least played version of it. And once think about it, once Call of Duty made that change, they make more money off Warzone than they do just selling Call of Duty at a certain point. So that's one instance where you see Fortnite led the way. Call of Duty made a change in their model and said, well, we're the biggest, and if we did this and did it better than they do, we can actually make even more money than selling our game by itself. Now, all it takes is one of these other RPG making games. Like, think about, let's say Persona or something comes out and do something like this. Like Atlas comes out with their next game and says, we're going to put a focus on free to play, but we're going to put that Persona style gameplay in there that people love and enjoy when it comes to their games. You never know. All it takes is a big fish to come into a small pond and say we're bigger than them and we know how to do it better, and we're going to actually monetize it in a way. But it's going to take time. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. Fortnite's been around for 3-4 years at this point, and Call of Duty just jumped on the whale a year ago. So it's going to take time to get to where all these games really compete like that.
I think the other thing with Genshin, probably part of it, and again, I don't know the numbers or the user numbers on the different platforms, but I think part of the advantage that game has that it's also mobile.
Free to play on mobile.
Yeah, it's free to play on mobile, and we know that mobile likes the free to play games, and so and this is a Chinese developer, and most people I think are playing mobile games, in China and Japan, but. I think this
segue into my topic, Enrique.
Yeah, it actually is funny, Code. I was just about to say that because let me get these super chats real quick, Code. Then we're going to go to the topic with regards to Mr. Phil Spencer. But I want to go to Jordan Carberry again. Optimus Code. Talent plus creativity plus passion plus time plus tools equals great games. Yo, the facts.
100% fact.
Yeah. Neo Y0 with the $5 super chat says, if devs are taking advantage of the dual sense like with NBA 2K, COD, how big of an advantage is that for Sony going forward? How does Xbox respond to that?
That is a really good question.
It's your question, yeah. Go ahead. You want to take a stab at it, Code?
Yeah, so I would like to take a stab at it. Thanks, Enrique.
Yep.
So I don't know. There is some concern that it's going to be gimmicky, like the touchpad, and certain the very same thing that we just discussed earlier. Certain expectations were set with the touchpad that never actually came true, and so people looked at it as like more gimmicky. And there is a segment of the community that thinks that the DualSense was going to follow in that same path, like it's just going to be a gimmick. Not everybody's going to support it. Not every game's going to take advantage of it, and it's like hit or miss here and there, and it's going to really just be a standard controller. If that's not true, though, if that segment of the community is wrong, and Sony actually does have some really good APIs and developers are able to integrate with the haptic feedback and the adaptive triggers, I do think that this could be a really big deal. And as far as the competition, they would have to adjust and quickly get something out to compete with it. Like that would be their only choice, because it can be a real game changer if they pull it off well. Forget what game it was, but one of the games they were advertising earlier, they said maybe it was Deathloop, I'm not sure, but it had some mechanic where if your gun jammed, then you couldn't even press the triggers, and like you had to wait. So like what you felt in your hands mimicked what happened in the game. I think that stuff is definitely a potential game changer if they can pull it off.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If my gun jams in my hand because of a mechanic, I'm turning it off.
That is not what I said.
I'm just responding to what you just said, though.
Oh my goodness!
No, in the game you won't be able to shoot because your gun jams.
Exactly. I need to be able to turn that off. I'm just talking, not really.
I was about to say, what is this man eating? Because he went crazy.
Yeah, what do you eat? Is that Forte? What do you eat? Tacos?
Not eating anything.
Oh,
Enrique, everybody don't like tacos, man.
Hey. All right, we're gonna transition.
That's right. They like empanada.
Yeah, I like empanadas, right? Empanadas is true.
Look, man, I turned Rumble off on my controllers 2 years ago and never looked back.
No, I gotta have that Rumble.
Look, but man, that just throw off my aim.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, guys. So I do want to transition here, and actually, Code, this is a great segue to the topic you want to discuss. What I call how Phil Spencer saved console gaming for the Xbox. So, Code,
I saw that.
Oh, don't say that too loud.
Yeah. So I mean, people in the chat already had questions about that title.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, I saw that. Saw a lot of people on Twitter asking about that. Like, what is he talking about? Like, what's going to happen? So, Code, go ahead, man.
I'm not even going to give my take on it. I'm just going to tell y'all exactly how the conversation went with me and these other people. And then afterward, I will add my speculation in on it later. So this is a rumor. Well, I believe it 100%, and I have conversations with these people, but of course it's private, so I can't really share.
Who are these people though?
Right. So as far as
did you just hear him say private, man?
As far as the but concerned, this is just a rumor. But these
can't be burning bridges on Twitter.
No, these people are not even on Twitter.
Okay, well, we can't be burning people in real life either.
Yeah, and so we had the conversation, and I'm just going to tell it to y'all the way the conversation was told to me. The conversation started out with Apple is number 3 or 4 or something. Anyway, Apple is really high, top 3, top 5 for game revenue in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And Apple doesn't even make games. And the reason that they are so high is because Apple's gaming revenue is pure profit. They don't invest in making games. They don't build games. They don't have dev teams. They don't pay QA, no bugs, patches, none of that. Apple gets all of their income from gaming on their devices, and they don't make a single game. Apple is not a game company.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I was told, there are people inside of Microsoft that looked at that and they see that there's a lot of money in gaming, but console gaming itself is very troublesome. Console gaming, it has this Twitter presence. Console gaming has a lot of negativity attached to it with social media and the console war. It takes a heavy investment, like you guys just said, hundreds of $millions to make a game, which you may not even recoup what you spent on it.
Mm-hmm.
Patches, bugs, the development cycles are long, and it is much more profitable to have a gaming division that focuses on mobile games. You can get the games out quicker. They don't cost anywhere near as much. You can fill them up with microtransactions and no one will complain. If you put a microtransaction in a console game, again, that negative social media presence, and these people will complain and try to get your game like rebuilt and all of this stuff because you have microtransactions. But in the mobile space, you can fill your game with microtransactions. No one cares. People accept it. You make way more money. It's way more profit. It's faster to get the money. And the money you invest in making one console game, you can make 10 or 15, 20 mobile games. And even if all of those don't hit, all it takes is one or two of them to catch on and you've got your money back, and you're still way more profitable than if you had to invest that in a console game. And the powers that be at Microsoft was really serious about changing their gaming focus to be more profitable and to just disregard console gaming completely because the pros and the cons were too imbalanced, that the cons outweighed the pros. Yes, there's money to be made in gaming, but it needs to be the way Apple does it. And Phil Spencer, and people keep saying it like Phil Spencer is a gamer, and I don't think that I don't think the weight of that statement really settles in on people for as important as it is.
Mm-hmm.
Because what I understood and what was told to me, Phil stood in the gap for gamers and was like, hey, give me an opportunity to turn the profits of the Xbox division around without killing console gaming and without like shifting our focus to all mobile. I can make this division profitable and I can keep console gaming, because as a gamer himself, he understands like the lifestyle of the gamer and the console gamer and those experiences that we want, as opposed to like the mobile gaming stuff. And he gained a reprieve and he was like, okay, like this is your last shot. And this is why you see a lot of the changes in Microsoft to become more profitable. There is a number like Game Pass as an example. There is a number, and I think it's like 45 million or 40 million, 50 million. I don't know. There is some number of Game Pass subscribers where once they hit that number of actual paying subscribers, not in this little introductory period where they, doing all the 1,000 ways you can get Game Pass without spending money. But once they hit that actual benchmark, if they can retain, I'm just going to say 40 million. I don't remember what the number really is. But once they hit 40 million subscribers, it won't even matter how much it takes them to build a game and what the game would have made in actual sales, because they will make so much money in a month that if a game sold for like 3 or 4 years, it still wouldn't match what they did in a month.
Wow.
And so they are after that sweet spot, but they're also focusing on like mobile devices. xCloud is a big part of the strategy. And like a lot of people consider this current generation for Xbox to be the worst one, when in actuality, as far as their bosses are concerned, this is one of the best ones, because they have been more profitable in this generation than they have ever been in their entire existence, even during the 360 days. So his plan is working. And because his plan is working, and because he was like, no, we don't really have to throw away console gaming, he was able to convince the powers that be to continue to invest in console gaming. And that's why you see a lot of the changes in direction with Microsoft and Xbox not being a device, but Xbox is a platform, and the goal of Microsoft Studios is to build games that run on Windows 10 devices, which is how the PC came in there, so on and so forth. I won't go into like all those details, but the fact that Phil is a gamer and understood what gamers want, he was able to help us preserve the way of gaming that we like, at least on the Xbox platform. Wow. And I think we need to pay attention and give Phil a little more respect. He's gonna be like, people gonna come at him again because he's a public figure and all the stuff that we just talked about in a social media world.
Yeah,
people definitely gonna catch a lot of strays. But at the end of the day, we should really take a minute to look at how this could have gone and how much we actually should thank and value the efforts of Phil Spencer to keep console gaming alive.
Yeah.
So Code, let me ask you a question, man. So some people are saying that, this is, rumors or this is true. You're hearing this from people that are in the industry, I guess. That's why
Absolutely.
I asked you, Okay. So you're I just want to clarify that for our listeners.
This ain't just me at the barbershop hearing this. No, these are a couple of colleagues that are talking to me about conversations that they know within the organization.
Yeah. So these are people that have that are in the know of
Absolutely.
things that are going on internally at Microsoft. Then, okay.
Absolutely. And again, that's why I say, like, as far as you're concerned, it's just a rumor because I can't prove it, although I believe it 100%. I can't prove it, but it's definitely true. This definitely happened. And these people are definitely in positions to know.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me, man. I'm sorry. Go ahead, 410.
No, I was just going to say, because this is something that, I just been saying kind of on the outskirts. Like you said, I don't know anything. It's just my feeling on the situation. And I follow Phil Spencer. I'm friends with him on Xbox Live. I did a raid with Phil Spencer in Destiny before because that's one of his favorite games that he plays on. And I think if you want to go, like, this is when I knew Phil Spencer was he was a gamer. When he came out, people look at it like he says that exclusive games don't matter. He doesn't want to, not exclusive games don't matter. He said he doesn't want to take exclusive games away from people. And I always looked at that as the situation where I always told people it's not about taking exclusives away from people. It was about, if you can't get it in Game Pass, that's their exclusive. If they can get it in Game Pass, that's the only way that they're going to be able to say, we're going to take this away from you outside of just buying out the developer. That's why when Bungie separated away from Activision, one of the very first tweets that Phil Spencer put out there is, congratulations to Bungie. I can't wait to work with them on my favorite franchise. And then we saw what transpired from that overall, because he lived through all of those trials and tribulations of things being taken away from people on Xbox because he's a gamer. It affected him just like it affected us. When you can't get certain things in a game that you love to play and it's all being held on another platform, and I think that's why a lot of people look at it's like, well, why won't he do the same thing? Why won't they retaliate and do the same thing to Sony? Because he understands as a gamer that don't feel good. It don't feel good to have stuff taken from you in that regard. Now, when it comes to like buying out rights and having like they did with Bethesda, that's a purchase that they made and they now own all of that. And if they want to keep that stuff on their platform, they will. But
because they bought you and they own you too, Forte. Let's not skip.
Yeah, they do now. Yeah, technically they do now. They're gonna have all their stuff at the front of GameStops. That's how it's gonna be. But
Forte, are you getting a cut? That's what I want to know.
I don't know, man. I should have been got to cut all the work I put in at that store. Telling people the truth. Sony, hey, but this is the funny thing. Somebody
real quick, Forte. Let me cut you off real quick. A big shout out to Lord Cognito says, I can confirm this from what I've heard as well from those behind the walls at Optimus Code. So we got Lord Cognito who's kind of confirmed what Code is saying. Forte, go ahead, man.
No, say this is nothing new to me because I always saw him as a gamer, and when he spoke on things that he was talking about, he spoke as a gamer, and I think that's kind of the part of the problem that people started when they listen to him. He feel like he goes back and forth on certain things that he says. That's because he kind of speaks as a person that's talking to you as a gamer. Like, these are the things I want for Xbox as a gamer. Do all of those things always pan out? no, things got to get changed. Things got to get pushed back. Things I got to be, the way that it has to work for a company overall. But ultimately, it all comes from him being a gamer and playing with him and seeing the way that he's been operating in that space.
It helps influence the decision making.
Exactly. And that's what
somebody else in that role is just going to look at the numbers.
Yep.
And the numbers not going to lie. But he was willing to, go to bat and redo the whole thing, rework the whole thing so that he could keep console gaming and not only look at the numbers. And also, if you remember, I forget who the guy was from PlayStation. I don't want to lie, so I'm not going to throw no name out. But a lot of people got mad because he was like, console gaming is a niche market. And people were really upset about that. And it's because, now this is me speculating on this part. I haven't heard this. From this point forward, it's just me speculating. But I would not be surprised if those same numbers are prevalent at Sony, and they also see how profitable gaming can be for someone like Apple, and that they also may have plans to try to reach more markets than the console gaming without killing it off as well, because the numbers are going to support the faster, more nimble style of game development for mobile games than the console games. And then there's just so much more effort and work involved to make successful console games.
Yeah.
So Code, I think I wouldn't be surprised if they, like you said, if they had access to those numbers. And Sony's already kind of been like, they've been dipping their toes in other platforms or expanding, content or publishing into other devices. Like we know that they've done this on mobile. We know that they put their first party on PC, and I've been saying this to people for a long time, that hey, don't be surprised to see Sony pivot, maybe not as drastically pivot as Microsoft has. There's there's different reasons why maybe Microsoft pivoted quicker than Sony did, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Sony doing things on mobile. I mean, they already have to an extent. I think they have some publishing with some indie related games that have been on, if I'm not mistaken, on Nintendo Switch, and I think on mobile too, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I mean, I'm speculating, Enrique, but they're going to try to diversify and come up with more revenue streams. I don't think console gaming is in danger. Well, it's not in danger at Microsoft either anymore. It was, it's not anymore, but I don't think it was ever in danger at PlayStation. But I think PlayStation is definitely working on messaging for their fans to prepare them to see PlayStation games in more places.
Oh yeah, 2015 for them. That's when Microsoft started this whole conversation. And that's the thing I always go back to. People listen to it, it's like, well, why are you guys willing to accept this? And I'm like, it's not accepting it. Microsoft's been setting people up for this for the last 4 or 5 years. And so after a certain amount of time of just hearing the same message, it started with crossplay, and it started with play anywhere. And then it started with all of your games going on PC and all this other stuff. And then then the whole conversation about how he was going to fix the platform. And like I said, the only thing I think he did out of order was fixing the games. The game should have been the first thing. So now we could be seeing the fruits of the labor of those games. But
Microsoft, for the gamers, yes, but for the business,
for the business, no, because
had to do profitable. Yeah.
And that's what I said in that live stream with you that day. I said the gamers wanted the games to come first, but they were not in a position as a company. And like you said, if we go off of what you were just telling us, Microsoft was on the bubble about how they felt about Xbox at that point. So why would they tinker with going out and trying to enhance their studios if they don't believe in the platform? So he had to go through a strategic list of things he had to complete, like fixing the services, coming up with Game Pass, coming up with Play Anywhere, giving us a brand new console that's going to make all of the gamers happy. And once Microsoft finally bought into that narrative, they were like, okay, here's the money to go buy these studios. Let's see what you can do when you got all the money behind Microsoft behind you. And now we're starting to see what can happen.
Yeah.
And again, they're using different metrics, y'all. They're not looking at who sold how many consoles and all of that. They're looking at money. How much revenue is being generated? How much are we having to spend to get this revenue? And they definitely playing the long game. From what I heard, it was somewhere between 10 to 15 years. buffer that they have for Game Pass to reach the numbers that they want. So they're not going anywhere soon, and I might be dead by the time all this stuff come to fruition. But y'all get to enjoy it.
Hey, cool. Let me ask you something. So this is interesting. I mean, we know that publicly traded companies are first and foremost driven by revenue, right? If the console model is yes, it's still profitable in a sense, but if it makes more sense for these companies to, go maybe a more mobile route, I mean, 10, 15 years from now, I mean, is console gaming going to be something of the past?
I don't know. So here's the thing. I don't know, but I would doubt it because the tools like DirectX 12 Ultimate and whatever tools that Sony's making, Unreal Engine, like that stuff is getting the technology is advancing, and I think there will always be a market that will support that stuff. And again, this is just pure speculation, but I doubt that they will want to throw away a profit like Sony, for example. Sony makes billions of dollars off of console gaming. I don't think they would just trade that in for billions of dollars in mobile gaming. I think they will try to add to that, not like replace it with the other one. Same with Nintendo. I don't think Nintendo's going anywhere ever. But
Nintendo's like Disney at this point.
Yeah, they're not really focused on advanced console stats like the other two are. Nintendo's in their own lane, doing what they want. They may come out with a console that's less powerful than a Switch. They don't care. They doing whatever they want to do.
Yeah. Want to get the super chat real quick, guys. Eagles fan 76 with the $5 super chat says code. What you said is true. I heard this also. Phil told the CEO they had to go all in. They didn't. He would have left Microsoft. Do they tell you that?
I have not heard anything like that.
Man, if they didn't believe in the Xbox at that point, and Phil Spencer said that, to be like, yeah, well, okay.
I have not heard that, but I did hear that he went to bat to keep console gaming, and he was like, I can turn this around.
Did he walk? Yeah. Did he walk into Satya's office with a little bit of talcum powder like EJ? Imagine Eric walking in.
But this kind of lines up like what Cole's saying, because for a long time, I know like Z Huge catches hell from people because he had that tweet a few years ago where he said that they didn't have a blank check to just do what they wanted to do anymore. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the ways that they were moving at the time kind of seemed that way because people had a lot of questions that they didn't have answers for, right? And at that time, Meyerson was still there, kind of going through that stuff, right? And then we did hear sometime after that, once Meyerson was gone, that there was a meeting between Satya and Phil.
Really?
And this is something I've heard. I've heard
this was a thing.
And then it said that they did talk, because Satya's on the record of saying that he's not a gamer. That's not his lane or whatever. And somewhere in that talk it was like, why are we still in gaming? And I think maybe that's where some of this is coming from. Like Phil had to break it down and explain to him and possibly that conversation I could see with Satya was probably, how does gaming fit what we do? Like the box is cute. Hey, that's cute. That's cool. Whatever that was done. But how does this fit now?
Okay.
And Microsoft is a server company.
That definitely that I know for a fact that question was posed. How does gaming fit into what we do? And that is part of the reason that Xbox supports Windows 10 devices, not just the console.
Right.
And that's why it's part of the charter. If you look it up, I posted on Twitter later. I posted it a couple of times, but part of the charter of Microsoft Studios is to build games that run on Windows 10 devices because they are a Windows company. And that's why they go to PC. And it's not just the Xbox console anymore.
Well, it makes sense to go to PC. Best place to play.
We can stop.
I just think that
let me get my cap on for PC.
No, I just think at a certain point, and I said this a long time ago when Game Pass became a very prevalent thing. I was like, people were like, I don't like Game Pass. I was like, well, it's not that you shouldn't like Game Pass. You should like that Microsoft and Xbox are building towards their core competency, which is services. Microsoft is a service-based company, and the fact that they are building a service around games mean, it could go, everything could go wrong. But if there's a company that I truly believe can build a service out of games, it's Microsoft, because that's their whole company. Their company is based off of services at this point. So it doesn't surprise me that Game Pass has like ballooned into what it actually is now. And yeah, granted, a lot of that has to do with the $1 and $3 subscriptions that they're giving to everybody. But we all know they're going to do that until they get to a critical mass where they feel like we have enough people that are recurring subscribers where we can turn that off. Sooner or later, they're going to turn it off, and we're going to see exactly what's going to happen. But that's why I like what Microsoft's doing, because they aren't trying to be Sony, and they're not trying to be Nintendo anymore. They're being what they're good at, and they're good at giving you a valuable service that you can subscribe to if you want, but you also have different ways and avenues to get into it.
Well, yeah, that's true. Let me add a couple of things what you're saying right there, because I see this back and forth. And again, I'm gonna refer to our little universe as the bubble, because people really think everything that happens in this little bubble is synonymous with what goes on in the full on gaming community. And I can tell you right now, that ain't the case. Most people don't give a damn about what goes on in here and these little things that we pick all the skin off the chicken over. Yeah, most people don't care. They just see what they want and they go get it.
Facts.
So what you're saying, Forte, about you don't want them to be like Sony or whatever, because I see people say this all the time, and it comes up. And Cole, you probably seen this when it comes to the games. I see a lot of Xbox guys. I'm throwing up air quotes because I think if you're just a gamer, just be a gamer. You don't have to identify as anything.
Right.
Facts. Oh my God! Wait, say that again, because I don't think they heard you in the back, EJ.
I said you don't have. Well, I don't know why people feel like they have to identify. Like, oh, well, I'm an Xbox. I'm a PlayStation guy.
Right.
I don't think too many people say I'm a Nintendo guy. They just say I have a Switch. Whatever. But I'm saying
they're just the smartest ones of probably everybody. They like great games. That's like it.
Yeah, like my like I wear like a lot of Converse, but I don't say I'm a Converse guy. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I have a Samsung washing machine, but I'm not a Samsung guy. You know what I'm saying? It's just
get to the point. Get to the point.
Forte, I know you're not telling nobody to get.
I know. Shout out to you for always bringing it up.
I'm a Haynes guy.
But to your point, Forte, is exactly that, because I see people doing this thing where it's like, if you don't necessarily agree with Game Pass, then you're crazy. Oh, that's crazy. How can you not? Well, not everybody. It's a service,
right?
Not everybody's gonna rock with it, right? And if you can sit there and say you don't want, not you, Forte, I'm saying in particular, I've seen other dudes say this, they don't want so-and-so to follow so-and-so. I'm like, then why is everybody so critical? Like Sony has to follow Microsoft into the services thing. But you cats don't say that when it comes to the games. You all say, well, I don't want Microsoft to follow Sony down the same game path.
Oh, I don't say that. I want that. I want Game Pass, and I want those games that Sony makes.
Right. But I see this kind of thing said. So it's like, again, two different companies, two different philosophies. But the one thing I will always say, stop acting like companies have always your best interest at heart. They're out there to make the money for their investors and for themselves, and they will do that however they need to get to it. Microsoft's approach is we're a services company. So what goes along with services? Customer service. We're friendly. We're going to do this. We're nice. We're going to rub your back. We're going to rub your shoulder. We want you to subscribe. We need you to
rub
continue to come back. Doesn't mean that the way Sony's going about what they're doing is wrong. It's just they have a particular way of doing it. But what will dictate is the market. Trust. Fact. If Sony's looking over at the fence and saying, well, damn, Microsoft is doing this, and this, and look at what's going on with them, and we're hitting a bit of a wall, watch how fast they shift. That's how companies work. But none of that is in interest of you. They want to keep you happy as long as you keep opening your wallet. That's all that means. So again, with what Microsoft is doing, if they start to see some of that shift isn't really going the way they want it to, they will figure out a way to pivot out of it.
You see what happened to Mixer?
I even said that a while ago. I was like, listen, Game Pass is Xbox's last shot. I truly believe that. You're literally building around what you're good at as a company. And if this doesn't sustain itself, I believe this is literally it when it comes to.
It's not just Game Pass. It's like the focus on mobile.
And xCloud and everything. I just think if Xbox can't survive off of what they're doing now, and it's only to be seen when these new studios start pumping out these new games. I honestly believe once you start seeing these games coming out, and if they're of the quality that people want them to be, then you're going to see this. You're going to see the service jump into a whole nother stratosphere. It's going to be ridiculous. But that's what we're waiting for. And like Cole said earlier, people have a problem with Microsoft telling them to wait for something, and they've been waiting this whole time. And even if you are a smart, very in tune gamer when it comes to the stuff that's going on, you may understand that Microsoft needs time because they just bought these studios. It takes time to build these games. Most of the people, the laymen, like you said out here, don't care about that. They say PlayStation been giving me games all generation, and I know they're going to give me good games next generation because you already sold them on the promise of what next gen is going to be. I already told people God of War, when I beat it, sold me a PS5 in 2018. I already knew I was going to buy one. Microsoft, I didn't know until a developer that has nothing to do with Microsoft told me they were doing something on the platform, and my friends just happened to play over there, so that's why I'm buying the system. So it really just comes down to, why are you buying it? And if they're going to do enough up until that point, until these games start releasing, to show the goodwill that you want, and then that's when you're going to really see the difference.
Yeah, that's a great point. Guys, I want to pivot here to the last topic of the evening as we talk about Xbox and Sony and gaming, and as you said, Forte, next generation consoles. Next gen consoles are launching in a month. This is crazy.
Ooh, say it with
crazy. I can't believe it. I mean, it's literally a month. And I gotta say, like, I'm excited. I think most people are excited about what the next generation of consoles are going to bring in terms of gaming experiences. But 7 years have passed in a blink of an eye, and this launch is going to be different in the sense that we're getting new consoles in the middle of a global pandemic. So. B, I want to go to you on this, man. What are you excited for, man? With the launch of the new consoles, man, like, what games are you looking forward to? What expectations do you have for these new devices?
Am I good now? Am I still buying?
No, you're good, B. You're good, man.
All right.
Cleared your throat, brother. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right, man. I mean, for the most part, like I've been saying for a while, 2K has me probably the most excited, because they've shown off the most of what they're bringing to next gen. I think over like the past couple of weeks for me, I've been a little low on next gen, man. I feel like, we're coming into, buying these new consoles, and me playing on PC, it's just like, all right, so what am I getting out of these new games? Like, what are these devs actually showing me, fresh out the gate? For me to be excited about. And Spider-Man Miles Morales looks really good. Demon's Souls looks good. The Medium looks good. But for me, like, at least as far as everything I've seen 2K has shown me has been the most impressive as far as like new games coming out within the first couple months of next gen. But potentially, I think there's going to be some great stuff. I think just based on the power and some of the advantages devs are going to have utilizing that. The next couple of years, I think we're going to see a lot of really cool games. What Epic is doing with Unreal Engine 5 looks, like that's going to be a major game changer. And that could affect a lot of, smaller devs to kind of put themselves on the map as well. So I think the potential for next gen is kind of out of this world right now, but as far as like things that they've shown us, there's not really too much for me to be super excited about, unfortunately.
No, I hear you, man. I hear you. I hear you. What about you, Eric?
Am I hyped for next gen?
Yeah. Are you hyped, man? Are you hyped for Miles Morales and all the other next gen goodies?
Man, it's weird, man. Like at one point I can feel a little bit hype, and then the next point I'm like B, like I'm like, and it's weird. I don't, like I've said this before, I don't know if it's happened to mid-gen refreshes or whatever the case may be, but it's just something that's just, it's not hitting the same in somewhere in that capacity. I'm not sure what it is now. Like some of the the fast loading and stuff like that. Yeah, that's great. But like you said, PC cats have been doing that for a long time, right?
Facts,
which they remind us about.
Yep, I've been next gen for a year. E,
we know, man.
He's like, we know. Just shut up.
Yo, shut up about it. No, I'm joking. Now do your capping, man. Go ahead, Peacock. But no,
go ahead, Peacock.
No, I mean, I'm always gonna be hyped, like, for games and seeing what's possible, but we're just like, we're not there yet. So I'm still waiting for that thing that makes me go, damn. Now we're there. Now it's time to roll. The stuff that we've seen, it's like, yeah, I definitely want to play it, but kind of knowing that it's on the old stuff, crossing over to the new. So games like The Medium, I'm kind of looking forward to, stuff like that, seeing what that can do. Whatever the Cyberpunk update is, which doesn't come until next year. So a lot of cases, I'm like, yeah, go ahead and cop, and you have it. You got the new features, but it's really not going to really jump off until like middle of next year.
Yeah. No,
so hype is like, it's not hype. It's like interest as far as a gamer, but not like overhype.
Yeah. E, you brought up an interesting point about mid-gen refreshes. You think that kind of dampened expectations, maybe? I mean, like, because we've seen, at the midpoint, we've seen, I guess, games look better than what we're traditionally, used to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think we're still sort of like at that threshold right now. Like I said, maybe next year, that's when we start to really see things that really take advantage. Even like Code has mentioned that numerous times when he's trying to, educate people. And not see the return on it just yet, but like B said, 2K is probably the thing right now that show me like, wow, holy shit, look at that.
Yeah, 2K looks great. Yeah,
I'm trash at 2K, but I can still respect it.
Hey, B, I'm coming at you, man. I'm getting VC.
You gonna get murdered?
Hey, pull up, man. I got something for you.
B setting a trap for you, man. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, man. No.
But along those lines, like, if you bought one of the mid-gen refresh consoles and you've been playing on that last couple of years, like, you're gonna appreciate like what those consoles brought to the table. You know what I mean? Like, I was on my son's PS4 today. Just checking out some stuff, making sure he had the PlayStation Plus games downloaded and whatnot, and just like clicking a button and waiting for that system to load. Like, it was pissing me off. Why is it taking so long to get into the damn store? Why is it taking so long for the store to load?
Right.
Like, I selected that I wanted to download the game, and it's taking like 45 seconds before I get to the next screen. Like, what the hell is going on? So like, when I jumped on PS4 Pro, it's like boom, 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 boom. I'm in and out, and like right back to the game. Like, you gotta appreciate like those little nuances. And I think, just saying like there's gonna be faster loading and stuff like that, you're just like, okay, yeah, that's to be expected. If you're from like a base console, then like, yeah, you're probably gonna be more excited about stuff like that when you experience it. But we got the mid-gen refresh. We saw that there's stuff that could be applied, and you get better experiences. The more money you spend, that's kind of what you're getting here. You spend a little bit more money, and you get a better experience.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Want to get the super chat real quick. Clutchman 01 with the $5 super chat. Thank you. Says watching late. We can't in the same breath say nobody cares about Dirt 5, but agree that true gamers care about all games.
Well, that wasn't me that said that. That was someone else.
Yeah, we said his daughter said true gamers respect all games. You don't have to care about it, but you respect it.
You respect them.
Yeah, exactly. I want to go to you, Optimus Code, man. Are you excited for these next gen consoles, man? Are you kind of like, yeah, because I know you're on PC a little bit.
Well, look here. So I got a lot of respect for EJ. I got a lot of respect for B Money. Although B Money, you don't want to see me in this 2K.
Woo! Hey, send me your info, man. I'm pulling right up.
I'm down. I want to get in on this.
You do not want that.
Can you guys stream this? Can you guys stream that?
What, me giving him a tutorial on how to run plays in 2K?
Hey man, I'm ready whenever you are, man.
All right, let's see what we can work out then, B, because I'm easy to find.
Hey, I know where I'm at.
But as far as excitement for the next gen console, I don't know what they're talking about. I am mad excited, and it don't even really need to be. So I told y'all before, it was a while ago, but gaming is just what I do. Like, I'm excited about the new advancements in gaming. I know the content is coming. Yes, a lot of it is based on potential, but I agree definitely 100% that 2K, the next gen version of 2K, already has plenty for me to be excited about. I'm also looking forward to just the updates for some of the current gen games that are popular, like a lot of the PlayStation exclusives. A couple of games I want to see on Xbox. I definitely want to rock Cyberpunk. And it's just like, I am excited for the new hardware. I'm excited for the games that's coming. I'm excited for all the possibilities. But again, gaming for me is not the result of a bunch of logical conclusions. I buy games and gaming hardware because it's in my DNA. It's just what I do. It's like breathing. And yes, I'm excited to breathe. I'm excited to be alive.
Well said, Code. I mean, yeah, well said, man. I want to get the super chats and I want to get to Forte real quick. We have Alvin with the $10 super chats. We go through this every gen. Last time, one of a system's best games was at launch was Soul Calibur for Dreamcast. People are so impatient during launch windows.
That's true.
That's a great point.
You get your new stuff, you want to see what all the new hype is about.
Exactly. No, exactly. I want to go to Gaming Forte on this. Forte, man, what are your thoughts, man? Are you hyped for next gen? Are you kind of like,
nah, man, I'm hyped, man. I mean, it's probably more of the excitement around what's coming next than just probably the excitement around the games themselves that are coming out. I'm more excited to see the fact that gaming in general is about to get raised to another level, because we're about to get a boost on consoles that have never been boosted to where they are before. That's just going to ultimately make gaming on every platform that you play on a more better experience. And I'm looking forward to that, because that's why I keep telling people I'm more excited for the people on console to finally experience what 99% of most people on PC probably experience for the longer time, when it comes to the ability to have a better performing game depending on what the developer does with it. So I'm more excited for that. But look, 2K probably would, and I hate to be like everybody else on the panel, but I did a video when I saw that was the first time in probably years my jaw dropped to the ground when I saw it. I was like, this. I wasn't expecting it, first of all, but I should have expected it, because 2K did this back in 2014. You know, it was a monumental leap. Their next gen version was like completely outclassing the previous gen version. They actually did their due diligence to make sure they changed not just simple things in like a slider. They did things that literally shows that they put the time and effort. It's almost like they said the current gen is an afterthought. We're really truly putting all our development towards that next gen version of the game. And it definitely shows in the trailer that they show. So that got me very excited for what the prospects of what some of these developers can do around a game design that we really truly didn't get this generation, on top of the frame rate bumps and just the choice of graphical fidelity and how you want to play the game. I'm really excited for that. And I'm just excited for people just to play better games, you know, and I'm truly, for myself, and I told you guys this, Destiny was a sink pit for me this generation. I truly only played 4 games consistently this entire generation. I played Battlefield 4 at the beginning of it. I played God of War in the middle, Destiny throughout the whole thing, and I played all of the Tomb Raider games and all the Uncharted games around that. So outside of those games, I really truly didn't enjoy this generation as much, because there was really not a lot there for me that I could sink my teeth into that I'm like, wow, I have to play this game. Because the ones I felt like I had to play, I did play those games. And people are going to say, yo, what about all these other great games? I was like, no, there was a bunch of great games, but for me, it takes a lot to want to pull me away from the games that I play. I'm very tunnel vision and focused on the stuff, and something really has to pop out to do that. So I'm looking forward to other games doing that this next generation, because 2K has given me a hope that some of these developers are actually going to do that, because that was incredible what I saw. And that's the type of thing that can kind of sway you away and say, if you're not excited now, after seeing this is the promise of what you can be excited for. And that's what I'm looking for more in the next generation overall. Because we've been playing on PC. And if you're on PC, you kind of been playing at this fidelity for a while. But guess what? That 2K trailer, that wasn't even, they're not even giving you that version on PC. That's exclusively on console, which I think is crazy. But we don't even get that on PC. And that lets me know that there's a chance that we can get way better games than we got this generation just because of that.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to Dirt 5.
I know you are. I know you are.
No,
you're not. You're telling the truth. Want to
get this super chat from HD Gamer 84 with that. Love the Sephiroth avatar, by the way. With the $8 super chat. Could the seemingly extended cross-generation period next gen potentially be dampening excitement? That's a great comment. Maybe because I think that we're going to see, and maybe as a result of the pandemic, we're going to see more of that. I don't think we're going to see that that leap, I guess, or that instant cutoff as we've seen in previous generations from old to new. I think that's definitely going to be extended maybe 2 or 3 years into the new generation. But
you know what, though? Answering that, though, that also comes back to why are you buying the platform? If you're buying the system based off of a certain thing, if you're buying it for Demon Souls or you're buying it for Spider-Man Miles Morales, you want to play at those higher frame rates, or you want to experience what Demon Souls is going to be on the next gen at 1440p, 60 frames per second. If you're excited for that, then more than likely it's not going to be a dampering situation. But if you're just going out buying the system just to say you own it, and there's nothing really tethering you to want to buy and play on the system other than just saying, oh, I got that PS5 or I got the Xbox Series X, then there's a huge chance that you could be disappointed at the beginning of the generation. That's why I always tell people, buy it when you have a true reason to buy the system. And then you can't be disappointed because you know why you bought it.
Yeah, I think a lot of the early adapters, though, Forte, we're buying it off of the potential, if you will.
Oh, yeah, a lot of people are buying it off the promise. Yeah. Off the promise of what next generation can be.
Yeah, like for me, like I'm excited to see what like game creators like Kojima could do on next generation hardware, right?
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 is going to look like on next generation hardware. I'm excited to see whatever the next Gears of War be, or maybe whatever the initiative is working on is going to look like on next generation hardware. Now, like I've been on PC, I've experienced ray tracing, I've experienced higher frames. I got a N.2 SSD in my PC, so I've experienced those fast loading times. But I'm still excited to see what some of my favorite franchises are going to do that aren't on PC per se, what they're going to do on next generation consoles. And I'm really interested to see, and hopefully it doesn't become something that's not utilized. I'm really interested to see what or how developers take advantage of that DualSense controller that Sony has. That's really kind of a point of interest for me, because I know Sony's trying to change how people, much like Nintendo, I think, has done, how people kind of engage or feel games outside of just seeing, visual upgrades. So I'm really interested to see how that plays out. I want to get a $2 super chat from Neo Y0. Says Series S doing 60 frames per second, 900p expected or concerned. I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, I guess it's expected. I don't know.
What was the question again?
Series S doing 60 frames per second, 900p expected or concerned.
I mean, it depends on how you. I mean, you know what? It could be a concern. But me personally, like I said, when I look at it, if you are more of a person that's looking to get a graphical fidelity or just performance in general, why are you buying the S? If that's what you care about, you shouldn't be buying an S. The S is for people that don't care. They just want to play games. That's all that system is for. Now, I'll hear people say, well, Microsoft is putting out a weaker system that's going to hold back development on other games and on other consoles. And I'm like,
don't get code involved in this.
Like we're not going to go down that railroad. We already know that is definitely a case across certain things. But when it comes to this, they have a mode that gives you 4K 30. If you want to play at 4K, then play at that. If you want the frame rate, you pay at 900p. But you're prioritizing what you want to do. If you want to have a better overall experience on the Yakuza, buy an X. Don't buy the S. That's what it comes down to. So them having this come out at 900p, does it look good? No, I'll be the first one to tell you. Like them coming out saying it's 900p, 60 frames per second, it does not look good in the headline. It doesn't at all. But if you're buying a system based on performance, why are you buying an S?
Yeah, that's a great point.
That's be the question.
Yeah, I mean, but Code, I'm going to throw this question to you. I mean, like we hear about resolution. Digital Foundry, I think, mentioned that resolution kind of a thing of a past, right? Where now, like, you have things like machine learning, and and you like John Lindemann was on BRAP, and he said, hey, you can get 4K like images using something like DLSS 2.0, right? Which is a feature that NVIDIA has, right? So would you agree, Code, that maybe this idea of resolution, and we talked about this, Code, I think recently.
Yeah,
right? That I'm gaming on 1440p, but man, these games look great on my PC, right?
Yeah, resolution is overrated. And like John from Digital Foundry was saying yesterday, it's just things have changed. There was a time when resolution was a very prominent factor in the quality of the image that you saw on your screen. Anymore, that's not true with technologies like DLSS and AMD's equivalent. It is preferred, in my opinion anyway, in the opinion of a lot of other technologists, to render the images at lower resolution and then use some sort of image reconstruction technology for the final output to the screen. And yeah, I'll die on this hill 100%. That is preferred in every way. Native 4K is a big waste, and the sooner we move away from it, the happier I'll be.
Yeah. That's why you see like Demon Souls. That's why people think that game looks incredible, because I can play at 4K, but I choose to play at 1440p because 1440p allows me to turn every graphical setting up on my PC and still get
settings.
Train all it up. And guess what? 1440p max settings on everything running at 120 frames per second or higher looks better than 4K.
Oh,
let's be real.
Preach.
Unless your PC or your game console can output 4K overall with ultra settings and still hit that magical 60 frames per second number, why are you trying to pick one over the other? Like, I will sacrifice resolution for a better gameplay experience and still be able to get higher quality in my visuals just because I'm able to turn up all of the bells and whistles on my game. And that's
without DLSS.
And that's without DL. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. So
hey, big shout out to Delirium Blade, says 3090 for life.
Hey.
No, 3090 for about 2 years. That's about it. Then
well, you think Nvidia gonna come out in 2 years? And well, they probably are. It's in three, probably 4. I think this is gonna be a 4-year right here.
I'm just trolling.
You gonna get that? Did you get your 3090 yet, Cole?
Getting it built for Christmas, man, and I think I'm gonna record it too.
Nice, Code. Are you so Code? You're going with the 3090 then, man. That's nice, man. Yeah, that thing's a beast.
Look, I was on the fence about that, but shout out to my man Heart 8. I was listening to him and he made a really good point about it. When he was talking about why he was getting a 3090, I was like, yeah, I said, but I'll just get a 3080. That's more than enough. But it's like that whole thing, like, why would you want to get something that's less than the best right now? And then when they come out with something that's better, you've had that feeling to want to upgrade. We know they're not coming out with anything higher at this point than at 3090. When they come out with something higher, it's going to be something either astronomically higher price, like $2,000, $3,000, and we're not doing that. But if they come out, like if you get a 3080, they're going to release that 3080 Ti probably in the next 6-7 months. And when they release it, you're gonna be like, damn, I should have waited. I got a 3080. I should have just got the 3080 Ti. Whereas if you just get a 3090 off rip, anything they release underneath that number, you like, I don't care. I already got the best.
Gotta worry about it. Yeah,
you ain't gotta worry. So
point.
Literally, that's what I'm doing. As soon as February, March come around, and old Trump give me back my money, because, well, let's hope Trump's not the one that wins. But whoever gives me back my money for my taxes, that's where I'm gonna get that 3090.
No doubt. Well, gentlemen, I do need to wrap up the show. I just want to say, great show, great topics tonight, great conversation. Big shout out to everyone in the live chat. Thank you, everyone, for the super chats and for hanging out with us this evening. Please, if you haven't done so already, hit that like button. And also, in the description below, check out DPS Podcast with Gaming Forte and Slow-Mo Backslap could be here with us tonight. Please check those gentlemen out. The link to last night's podcast is in the description below. But again, everyone, thank you so much for hanging out with us this evening. Want to give a big shout out to our special guest, returning guest, Optimus Code. Always a pleasure having you all, man. Thank you for stopping by and hanging out with us, man.
Appreciate it, man. Y'all can find me on Twitter. I'm on Sunday nights with Hard 8, which has been pretty interesting to say the least.
Facts.
Sunday night, 4:00 Eastern time, Any Given Sunday podcast.
No doubt.
Appreciate the invite, Enrique. I really do.
Oh, absolutely, man. Always a pleasure, man. Your family here at Brat, man. So always appreciate you coming through. And we got Gaming Forte. Let everyone know where they can find you, sir.
Yeah, man. Great show as always, man. I love doing this with you guys. Shout out to Code. 2 weeks in a row. We're gonna make you an honorary member in a minute. Outside of that, man, everybody in the chat, man, go give Slow-Mo the best wishes. He wasn't here because he's going through stuff today. Family members, things like that, you're not prepared for. So trust me, you guys may not know that you matter like that, but if you go drop him a DM, tell him that sorry for his wishes, sorry for everything that's going on, trust me, that would make that man feel a whole heck of a lot better. So please go do that to him for that, man, because that's my partner, and I don't know what I would do without that man being here, because he helps me and we help each other. So shout out to him. But it's DPS Podcast actually, we might be changing the show, guys. It might be on Thursday nights now.
Okay, no doubt.
It might be. We're discussing that because there's another big show on that day that we keep getting backlash from all our viewers, like, can you please do this on a different day? So we might have to acquiesce to that. But as of right now, it's every Tuesday, 9 p.m. on next week will be on my channel. Check it out. Last night it was on Slow-Mo Backslash channel. You get to see the worst job he's ever been embarrassed to actually talk about, and he tells you at the very end of that podcast. Outside of that, it's been an amazing show. Shout out to everybody. B Money, Eric Jackson, love you guys, and you guys have a great week, and we will talk to you next week.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you, Forte. And please hit up our boy Slow-Mo, send him a DM, send him some love. Slow-Mo, hit us up, man, if you need anything. B Money, always a pleasure. Let everyone know where they can find you, man.
You find me everywhere. Same name, B Money 101. I'll be on 2K until next gen comes out. So we got less than 30 days, man. I cannot wait to check out this next generation version of 2K, man. It's super exciting time for me.
Hey, B, real quick, about how much you spend on VC a year?
Hey, man, we don't talk about that here.
Well, we'll talk about figures.
Let's just say it's a couple bags worth, man. It's a couple bags worth.
Some ducats coming out of there.
We might be in the same category. Yeah, I ain't shamed. Shit, I don't care.
He said he got no time for fake ones.
And it's mine. I get it on what I want.
That's right. That's right.
No doubt. We got Eric Jackson, who's broadcasting live in his yacht. EJ, let me know where they can find you, man.
Yo, good show, great conversations. Always great having Code come through, dropping knowledge as always.
Appreciate you, EJ.
I appreciate you, fam. And I want to send some more love to my brother Slow-Mo. I know he's going through something, but you're in our hearts. We're thinking about you, man. Like we said, we're all here.
Most definitely.
Yeah, most def. But other than that, man, good show. You can find me on Twitter, EC Jackson with an X. And when I'm not here, we have Gaming Perspective podcast, Saturday nights, 8:00. And level up your cereal game. You know, Honey Nut Cheerios, put a little chocolate syrup in there.
Woo! Chocolate syrup.
Chocolate syrup on the Cheerios.
Got that from Mr. Negative, man. It'll level you up.
Okay. Yo, I have a question for you, Eric. Do you stay on your yacht because you already know one day they're just going to saw the thumb of America off, and you just already want to be prepared in that sea when it happens?
You know it.
Okay, I had a feeling. You always on your boat, man. That's what I'm talking about.
Way out there, man.
Just make sure you're not tied to it when it happens.
Exactly.
Yo, man.
All right. Thank you, everyone, again. And again, big shout out to our man Slomo Backslap. Much love for him. And please keep him in your thoughts. Everyone, we'll catch you guys next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern.
Where's Greg? Get a dice roll. We need a dice roll.
That word, Enrique.
Eastern Standard Time.
At least I know I'm not the only one.
All right, yeah. Hey, you know what? English is not my first language, so whatever. So, all right. On that note, we're out. We'll catch you guys next week. Peace.